Welcome to Fly Nubian Money, where we help Black women master their mindset and maximize their money. I am Laura Lala Key. Everybody calls me Lala. And today we're exploring some really great topics like what's going on in the entertainment industry right now with Kendrick Lamar and Drake. But before we do that, I actually want to introduce my other queens that are here on this platform as well. We have such a wonderful show and some great queens here. And this is where you're going to find that we're going to be your girlfriends for the next hour, where we can sit back and kick back and talk about things that are in public. But I need my queens to also introduce themselves. So let's go ahead. Ready to introduce yourself, ladies? Go right ahead. Athena, you want to start with us? You want to start with for you?
Yes. Hi, everyone. Hi, ladies. My name is Athena Gardner. I'm a CPA and founder of We Wealth Women, where we help women become the wealthy goddesses that they deserve to be. I'm excited to be here and contribute to share my knowledge as we discuss topics that hopefully will help learn lessons from and enhance our lives.
Thank you. Who's our next queen to introduce themselves?
I'll go. My name is Lindsay Vertner. I'm a mindset expert, and I work with high-achieving leaders to prioritize self without guilt, specifically in what I call the 3 pillars of self, which are self-care, self-worth, and self-discipline.
All important. All important. And our next queen?
Hi, everyone. My name is Marlo Layson. I'm a journalist and independent film producer, and I'm looking forward to diving right in, so I won't hold up the conversation. What is it that we're talking about today, Lala?
Ooh, today we have some drama that is going on in the entertainment world. But before we dive in that, I also want to make sure that people know that you can like and subscribe. And if you find that this content is really good and you want to share it with others, we are not opposed to you doing so. And we hope that you come back. So we want to make sure that you subscribe to us so that you can always get the tea. Ladies, we have some serious drama going on between Drake and Kendrick Lamar. Now, I'm okay, I'm not afraid to say that I'm 54 years old. So I came up during a time where rap beefs, entertainment beefs were always a part of my life. I've always heard someone arguing with someone answering back. Remember the Shantae and Shantae's this, and people would answer back. But this is a little bit different than what I'm used to coming up. And right now there is a very serious beef going on back and forth, fast and furious, between Drake and Kendrick Lamar that has actually gotten pretty personal. And I really would love to hear some of your thoughts about how you're feeling about this is. And do you think it's too much? Is it too much drama that's going on? And how is it different for you than what it used to be?
Okay, so I guess I can go. So Kendrick Lamar and Drake are 2 of my favorite rappers. I grew up listening to them since I think Drake came out when I was in like high school. And even I've been watching some of the beef turn out, and I'm like, where did all of this start? Because at the beginning of their careers, they were on songs together. Drake had Kendrick on his album, his Control album. And Drake was also on Kendrick Lamar's album as well. So I had to do some research and trying to figure out what is the issue. Now, I still don't know fully what is the issue, but it seems like over the years, Kendrick has been sneak dissing Drake this whole time since about 2015. And Drake has said in interviews before he felt baited by Kendrick, and he has mostly decided to like look the other way and let it alone. But since Drake released his October 2023 album, J. Cole was on there on the song First Person Shooter. And J. Cole said that him, Drake, and Kendrick were the big 3. And that kind of started this whole beef, because then Kendrick came out with a diss track basically saying that it's not the big 3, that it's all him. So from my understanding of it, it seems from my viewpoint, even though I love both artists, Kendrick is the one that kind of like inciting all of this vitriol or initiate the beef. Now, what I will say is this, Hollywood and music industry is all kind of like delusion and crazy. For all we know, they could be collaborating on this because beefs do generate a lot of money. There's a lot of streams that a lot of people interested. I'm sure their record sales, their merch, anything attached to them has gone up. But for the flip side of that, should this get violent, as we have seen other beefs play out before, then it could negatively not only impact their fan base, but themselves, their family, and their money in that way as well.
Which is interesting. Yeah, because I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it's interesting to me because I do remember beefs like LL Cool J had beef with Kool Moe Dee, and of course,
right,
the greatest beef of all time to me is Jay-Z and Nas, right? So people have had this, and it's always been competitive. It's always been kind of men blustering and who's the best. It's always been based in that, right? But I think this is a lot of personal hits are being taken, which makes me wonder how fans will receive this, because some of the things that are being said at this point, as we're like 6 or 7, I don't know, 8 records in, the things that are being said are extremely personal, and I wonder how people are just taking all of this in, because it is a lot of information that's being spread, whether truth or just
right.
A lot is being said at this point.
Right. Go right ahead.
I can say, like, I don't know a lot about this beef. I have heard some of the songs, not all of them. What I need for somebody to do is to go and give me a Cliff Notes version from the very first shot, from where it truly began, all the way with detailed, okay, this person did this on this date, this person made this diss track on this date, and
Cliff Notes
now, so I can just get a Cliff Notes summary, because I can't keep up, and maybe I don't want to.
But here's the thing that's so crazy to me. Remember how it used to take time to go into the studio to record a disc thing, right? Exactly. Not anymore, because you could do this from your phone. So the answers are coming back like before one is even finished, the next one is out. And to me, this is a level of dangerous. Mm-hmm. Like, people take stuff very personal very quickly. And some of the things that have been said, like allegations of molestation, calling out people's families and calling them out by name. How does this benefit them when it's become so personal and vicious? And now you're dragging innocent people into it. And Kendrick actually said, pretty much, keep my people's name out of your mouth. This is between you and I, but Drake will not stop that. So at this point, I'm worried about the dangers of what's going to come after this, because let's face it, even when we were coming up, we had the click, right? If you were with Biggie, you were with Biggie. If you were with Pac, you were with Pac, right? So this level of thing, on this level where people are so quick to take it to a different level, it worries me about how quickly this escalated and how fast it's going. You can't even close your eyes before the next episode is out.
That is true. The turnaround has been like insane. Like, people will have lives about the latest song and then there's nothing new. What I also think with this beef is it's just going on with the theme that seems to be happening this whole year with celebrities, where I feel like 2024 is a year of like celebrities being exposed. And I feel like,
oh God, yes,
from Club Shay Shay to Monique, Kat, everyone is just like, you know what, I'm gonna peel back this layer of Hollywood, music industry, whatever. If I have a problem, I'm not just gonna eat it, I'm gonna expose it. Like, I think this is the year everyone is, I don't know if everyone's tired or fed up. It just seems like, from even Taraji, like, it's just a year of celebrities just like, you know what, I'm gonna put it all out there in the open. Now, how true are these allegations? Who knows?
I don't know, but it seems like our world is changing, where anybody's willing to throw anything out there, all the way from the tops of our politics, all the way down to the entertainment industry. So it's really interesting to see how people are reacting to this. I'm going to be very, very honest. And I want to hear each one of yours thoughts on this as well. I am not really into a lot of this new music that is out right now. So for me to even know what's going on with Kendrick and Drake is pretty much a big deal for me, because I'm really not that type of chick, right? But some of the, like I said, some of the things that have been said really caused me to bring attention to this. But Athena, you said, and I find this very interesting, is that you were like, okay, this may be affecting their merch, this may be affecting their streams, and how this is may affecting them in the pocket. But being in the industry, I don't necessarily see how people are getting rich off of that. So what are your thoughts about how we grew up with the Roxanne, Shantaes, the Biggies and the Tupacs, and to what it looks like now? And how did that benefit them then? And how can it benefit them now?
I can say, thinking about like back then, we didn't have the streaming numbers that a lot of us do now. So I think that's one big difference of how is it going to benefit, because now it's like, okay, how many views do you have on your YouTube? When way back when we didn't have YouTube to check those numbers and things like that. But I know there were shots fired at kids. Like, was that the Jay-Z and Nas one?
Right.
And Seed and all of those things. And so part of me wants to say, oh, they've taken it to a new level because now they're talking about families. But if we think back, they've always included families. My biggest concern is, like you said, from it moving from the record to the streets in real life, because that's what we don't want to happen. As far as,
and we've seen it
going back and forth, we put this record, then you put your record, and we keep it in the studio, then, you know, great entertainment. But the moment that it gets too personal, that now when I see you, I've got to pull out my gun, or I've got to get these people on you and take you down, that's whenever it becomes like psychological issues that we want to make sure we don't get to that point, because like you said, we've seen what happened in the past.
It's dangerous.
That also kind of worries me but fascinates me is AI, right? We talk about the pace at which these records are being able to be made. We're talking about how quickly it's disseminated through social media, through streaming. So it's not the way that it used to be. But then we also have this kind of unknown known, which is artificial intelligence. And to what degree is artificial intelligence being used to enhance all of this? Right, we got Drake getting in trouble allegedly with Tupac's estate because he took AI and modified Pac's voice to be a part of one of these songs in this situation, right?
So new element, completely new element.
AI to me is the thing that could really potentially make this even messier, right? Because then we could get into people faking and creating songs that aren't really songs created by either artist, right? Like there's just such a gray area that I don't have a lot of faith in humanity when it comes to AI at this point. So there is that gray area that's in the back of my mind, is to what degree AI is facilitating a lot of this and helping move it at the speed of the news cycle, right? This is like Trump news going on right now. It's like every day a new thing between these two artists. So
well, I think you brought up another good point, that AI, and I was going to mention that as well, is the fact that them using Pac, just drawing him right in there, and then the family having to come out and say, hey, we don't want this at all to be happening. People tend to do things before they ask nowadays. You remember when you used to go to an artist and actually ask them, you know, can I use this, or can I use a part of this? And they would give their blessing or not. And now they're just doing it and it's already done. So once it's been out of the bag.
It's funny.
Say that again.
That was part of the Jay-Z and Nas beef, was that he actually paid for publishing to use Nas's song, but Nas didn't get that money, right? So here we are, back 20 years ago to this beat. Things that were relevant then are still kind of relevant now. And I just, as we've echoed before, I hope nobody gets hurt, and they do keep this to the streaming and to the blogs and to the podcast, so that everybody has a lot of fodder and food for thought, because it's an excellent discussion coming out of this, which would typically just be mess.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have a question.
Athena, I have a question for you though. Do
Oh,
you
do you?
think I do, because you seem to be a little bit more versed in this than for me. I told y'all I'm kind of old school chick, right? But I want to hear your opinion on if you think that things like this are usually planned in a certain way and then they get out of hand, or do you think that it's attention seeking only, or do you think they're playing into this to get more attention on their music?
I think both things can be true. Honestly, I think both things can be true. If there was really an issue that needed to be resolved, I think both people have each other's contact information. So why does it have to be something that's played out in public? Why, if I really have an issue with you or I don't want you to do something, whatever the issue is, why did I not reach out to you and have a conversation? Why have I put it out on public display? Now, one can argue
Right.
the reason for doing that is because you want to blow up someone's spots, which is understandable. But I think with it's coming from a place of a lot of anger, because now they're even talking about race, where Kendrick is talking about Drake's mixed race, and then Kendrick shot back and saying that, you only pro-Black activist when it comes to your albums and your music, and you're wifing up a mixed queen. So and all these other things. So it's really they're really taking time to expose each other and call each other out in such a way that I think that is beyond a publicity stunt at this point, even though they may get money and publicity. Because to be honest, I haven't really heard much of Kendrick before this beef. Now, Drake has been continually pushing out material, and other people have been coming for Drake as well, other artists and producers. But I think outside of this beef, I haven't really heard much from Kendrick.
Who shot first? Who shot the first? Who fired the first shot in this?
Kendrick shot first.
Kendrick. Kendrick. And then they used to work together so closely in the beginning. Something personal happened to me. My gut is telling me something is very, very personal about this, and it's a little bit more than just a marketing scheme.
Yeah. Well, I've heard from the streets now, so this is not anything verifiable. Allegedly. Okay. What I heard is that Drake has amassed a certain level of success and business dealings. And what I've heard is that when other artists want to use, because they'll record things throughout the years and not release things, right? He has very strict business practices, and he will deny sample requests. He will deny certain things if you're not hot, if you're not popping at the time, if he has an issue, whatever. So even producers like Metro Boomin and other artists they're seeming to come after Drake because they're upset. I was talking to somebody about this. I was like, man, is Drake Thanos? Because it just seemed like everybody, he got the what is it, the gauntlet, and everyone just keeps trying to come for him. So
right. Well, I know that you're a fan because you said you were. So I want to hear from the other ladies. Before all of this, were you a fan of either, or are you still a fan of both?
I like both of their music. I don't listen to all of their songs or buy their albums or anything. I listen to what I like. Hey, I like your song, I'll play it. If I don't, I won't. And that goes with anyone. So I don't have a battle to pick for either side. I'm like, okay, well, what you saying now? Oh, now what you saying?
Right.
I'm unbiased in the situation. But I noticed in the comments, one person, Little Blue Piggy, had mentioned that it's attention seeking, which goes along with what Athena was saying, oh, who's hot now? Well, let me grab on their coattails and try and ride some of their heat, if you will, make myself hot. Now, everybody's streaming Kendrick. Yeah. Now, true Kendrick fans probably were streaming him all along, but like you said, Athena, a lot of people were like, we ain't really heard much from Kendrick in a while, but now everybody's streaming Kendrick. So definitely thanks for that comment.
Listen,
Little Blue Piggy.
Because of this beef, I was definitely, in the whip, busting money trees from Kendrick, okay? And because Kendrick to me is his music is like rap mixed with like a Negro spiritual conscious wave. And then Drake, I'm a Drake girl too. Okay, Nice for What? Okay, all those girls make me proud. Like I like a good bop. So I'm kind of in the middle, but because my favorite would be Drake because I just love a good bop. Sometimes Kendrick, you gotta think, you gotta.
You do have to think with Kendrick because he goes pretty deep. He really does.
I mean,
he does get pretty deep
prize
with it.
winner for a reason. They gave him that prize for a reason. So when I'm in that educational, intellectual rap mood, I'll listen to Kendrick. But when I'm trying to be cute and listen to a little bop, it'll be Drake.
That's hilarious.
I think that's so great for the culture, right? At the end of the day, it is helping somebody who maybe wasn't on the radar and somebody who kind of always makes their way to the top 10 or top 20, right? In that regular rotation that we'll hear everywhere from the local deli to the Forever 21, like Drake's music, like you said, that box, like you gonna catch a Drake song in any space that you're in. But I love both artists. I think both of them have something to offer, and I as a hip hop fan, as a lover of hip hop, somebody that grew up, just loving rappers and great lyricists, people who could tell stories, paint
yes,
pictures, right, with words. I think this is good for the culture. I hope it shakes some people up and other people that have pens. I hope it wakes some pens up and some people come with some good lyrics out of this. Hopefully it's not just people just catch on and the new wave is beef, right? So hopefully out of this, we don't just get more unnecessary little beef records, but hopefully we get more people like pulling out their pen and really doing it for hip hop.
I have a question for the ladies. This is gonna be a test.
Uh-oh, I might fail.
Can you recite a lyric from either rapper? Do you have a lyric that you can recite right now?
No, ma'am.
The only thing I can think of is BBL Drizzy. And that's neither one of them. But that's the most recent thing in my head. And I wasn't even listening to the song, so I'm not sure. I think they said that came from Metro Boomin. But girl, I was on my social media and then I was watching, I was scrolling, and then now BBL Drizzy. BBL Drizzy.
The claims that he was like taking Ozempic and has had surgery. I mean, listen. A lot of these men be doing things that we don't know. So
now, how do y'all feel about that part of it?
But see, that's what I have a hard time listening to the new stuff.
See, but you guys all failed because this is Fly Nubian Money. This is a money show, and you guys can't even recite Money Trees from Kendrick.
No,
Money Trees is the perfect place to shade, and that's how I feel.
No, listen, I had to look at their songs.
I retired in a different generation, so I know some, but these are not my front to back lyricists. So no, I cannot.
Money Trees is that song, honey. Listen.
But I'm gonna go put it
I gotta go listen to it just because
Money
of you.
Trees is that song. Whether you run your own business or you gotta go to the corporate plantation, you gotta listen to that in the morning, honey. You need to listen to that. Plant your little money tree in the corner. It's about that. It's about actually we probably need to listen to that song now with the state of how the world and our economy is like.
Oh yeah. Oh man. It all ties in, but even with this, guys, we can tie this also into a little bit of this money thing because I'm fascinated with how much this is, and if you're looking at it in a money perspective, coming from the entertainment area of my life, I know how hard it is to earn one single penny off of one stream. So you got to really get them attentions up before people will start ching, ching, ching in your pocket. It's more than just streaming. It's got to be merch. It's got to be personal items that they're putting out. And so, okay, so who's going to come out with the first t-shirt that says Team Drake or Team whatever? They need to be capitalizing on this because honestly, the money's not always there in streaming, and no one, baby girls, queens, is buying CDs anymore. The first thing that we do is what? We go straight to Spotify or we go straight to Apple Music, or we go to our local streaming service to pull up all this stuff. And that's what I did today, Athena.
You guys need to stream that what's called? You need to stream Money Trees. But with the if I was Drake, Kendrick, if you need management, you need a CPA, look at the plans, call me. But if I was them, I'll announce a tour. I'll announce a tour, like pre-sale for a tour that's not even set up yet. I would announce a tour. I would do take the beef to the next level.
Right.
Next level. I'm gonna come to a tour. Did you see what Quavo did to Chris Brown? So Quavo bought out that's the level. This
is a totally different level.
Right. We need to elevate these beefs. Like I will be coming out with a tour.
Please fill me in with the tea because I don't know what he did. Okay.
Quavo and Chris Brown, they had their little beef too. So I guess it's 2024 is the year of exposing people and the year of beefs.
It's the year of the dragon. It's not to be played with.
So what did he buy?
He bought all his tickets to his concert. Now I would have I'm still getting a check. So if you buy the seat, I'm grateful, But yeah, so
that brings me to you, Athena. So he bought all the tickets. He still got the money. So here's my thing. If it was me and only a handful of people showed up, I would give them the show of my life. I'd get down in the middle of them. We'd go to breakfast together. We'd do everything because what are they going to do? They're going to go out and say, hey, it was a personal thing. To me, that's VIP. You could buy all my tickets and nobody show up, but I'm still going to perform. Right?
Yes.
Why do we like drama? Why do we like drama like this?
It is just human nature, right? We love to be able to look at people and be like, it's rough over here, but at least it's not what's going on that side, right? And then if you elevate it, right, we look at these people, they're on TV, they doing big streaming numbers, they can go on tours, they can literally be anywhere in the world, but they are on the internet with us doing the most pedestrian things that I don't understand why. But give me more, because in between work and the problems of the day and everything that we have going on, it's a great little 15, 20-minute escape. It's a fun conversation, but it also, if you look at the greater society, there are things about this that are just like regular folks, right? Whether this is somebody felt snubbed at an award show, somebody felt snubbed wherever, they definitely are. They're definitely doing the same things that regular people are doing. So, the guys here where I live in North Louisiana, the folks wherever you are, I'm sure that there's little beef between rappers there, or bakers, or dance studios, or whatever. And that stuff is spilling out into the greater society, and we get to watch it and hopefully learn from it, but certainly it's a little bit entertaining too.
Yeah, it takes us away a little bit from our daily woes sometimes when you can see that other people with the more money got the more problems. Is that right?
Listen, we don't have problems. What problems don't assign themselves to any income bracket, okay? Everyone gets their fair share of problems. With one thing I will say is that in the midst of all of this, people, no matter how high class or educated or whatever, wherever it goes, we love some ratch, okay? We love a little bit of ghetto rachi. We love a little bit of...
We do. We really do.
We like to, visit and then leave. You don't want to stay there, but we like to just spin the block and just look and see.
That's right. That's right. Well, listen, we are having an absolutely fabulous conversation about what's going on between Kendrick Lamar and Drake. But if you are not following us now, we are so happy to have you here. Welcome to this beautiful show with my other sisters and queens here. Make sure that you subscribe, share this out. Make sure that you check us out, because you're not going to want to miss the tea that we have. And if you want more information, you can either text the word Queens to 87948 to get some more information about us. But for now, we're going to go in and have a little commercial break. And then when we get back, we may continue this this conversation, or we may have some other things for you to see as well. So stay tuned, and thank you for being here. We'll be back after this commercial break. I think.
Listen.
I'm sorry, I'm having so much fun, ladies. I'm so happy to. Maybe not, but we'll see.
So you know what?
Well,
The commercial is being prepped. There was something, Marlo, you said it earlier when you mentioned culture, and then Athena, you were just talking about we like a little ratchet, and then we come back. There was a comment that I noticed, and it was from the Feisty Therapist, and she said, "The culture is eating itself. Folks from other cultures aren't exposing their dirty laundry. We better be careful, or we will destroy ourselves." And that comment really stood out to me because I know, especially in the Black community, we have a habit of saying, well, we shouldn't do that. They don't do that. And by they, we mean like white people, usually in general. But one thing that we have to remember is that although we have our differences, all of us around the world are more alike than we are different. And they do some of the same things that we do, but it's just that matter of proximity. And so because I mostly see my neighbors, I notice mostly what my neighbors do, not what the people around do. And they notice what the people across town do. And so it made me actually do a quick Google search here. And I was like, are there rap beefs in other cultures or genres or anything?
I love it.
And one of the things I found, 50 greatest beefs in rock music history. And it literally has a list of 50 different beefs. And so obviously I didn't have time to read that because I'm talking with you, beautiful ladies. But as I quickly browsed it, they're having beef just the same. Like some of them are getting in physical fights, just like, hopefully we don't get to, but it's like, just because we don't see it doesn't mean it's not happening. Or maybe they show their beef in different ways. They might not be making rock music diss songs or country music diss songs, but I wouldn't know because I'm not into country music. I don't listen to rock music on the regular. But
aren't we seeing that with Beyonce? Aren't we seeing that with Beyonce crossing over into country? They are speaking out and not happy. They're not happy
with Black people creating music in a genre we basically created in the first place. That's what they're not
basically
about.
We did.
Is that what
Jason Aldean came out and said that they offered him money to come and be on her track. However, he was like, I'm not going to be a part of that mess. And I thought, baby boy, do you not know where it came from? I mean, there is such an outcry with that, and they hate that she showed up at the Country Music Awards. So yes, there are beefs in other communities that we don't hear about unless we cross over into what they consider their territory.
But even so, like, even recently, Taylor Swift just released her latest album, and she wrote and Thank You, Amy, that was basically a diss towards Kim Kardashian. Gwen Stefani's Holla Back Girl is actually to Courtney Love. Most people don't know that, but Courtney Love called her like a cheerleader and stuff. So in the video, when she was doing all these cheerleader moves, she was basically dissing her back and saying that, oh, I'm not a holla back girl like you. But most people don't know. I think the difference with us is our beefs are so like upfront, in your face, direct. I'm talking about you, your mama, your son, everybody else. And those beefs tend to be more subtle, which I kind of like. I like the artistry and wordplay and lyricism aspects of beef. But I'll still, sit back, sip tea, and watch the the ratchetness go on too now.
Right. I'll let that side of me come out sometime.
Listen. You always got to sprinkle a little ratchet on there, okay? You can be American Pie. 90% of the time, you just sprinkle.
Look, I call myself a professional sophisticated. I'm sophisticated with a little ratchet, okay? I can hang out with you and talk business in the boardroom, or we can go twerk it on the block.
Yeah, the clutch
Right.
it. I know clutch it was another term that I used to like a lot too.
Oh my God, I love it. I love this conversation. And we're loving all the comments. Continue to put in your thoughts of what we're talking about. We'd love to hear what you've got to say, and make sure that you spread the word, because honey, we talking about some good stuff today. And I like that. I wasn't really into it, but now I feel like I'm invested. I feel like I'm falling down the rabbit hole. Right.
But I would like to see if those of you in the audience, if you're watching live, comment who are you siding with? Are you siding with Drake or are you siding with Kendrick? So comment Drake if it's Drake, or Kendrick if it's Kendrick, or if you're watching the replay, do in the comments and do the same. I'm curious to see like
yeah,
what
I
people
am
are
too.
siding with. Yeah.
But here's my thing. I know we talk about things that get personal with that, but some of the things actually sting, because I really don't want to see innocence hurt. And with today's mentality of people wanting to hurt people so bad, why would you bring your children into it? And to me, the same thing in politics. If you're the politician, we ain't talking about your kids. You know what I'm saying? Like we just talking about what you're doing. We ain't talking about your wife and your kids unless you drag them into it. And that's my concern about this. Is this in this day and age? It seems like everybody's so quick to want to pull out the pew pew over things that don't really matter in the scheme of things, when people used to be able to battle with words. Remember, guys, you'd get on the stage and you'd have shows of them just battling back and forth with rap lyrics, and you could take someone down with just your words without physical contact. I'm concerned about this because I don't want to lose another artist over something that's so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Am I the only one who feels that way?
No, I think it takes a certain level of intellectual aptitude to appreciate certain things. So even with the audiences, a Kendrick audience is not going to be a Drake audience. Drake might have, I think Drake's level of success is that he is kind of like appealing to the mass, versus Kendrick is more about the artistry and appealing to more of like an intellectual base. So, and then obviously like very meticulous writing, rhyme scheme, all of that. And I think that what I've learned, and ladies, you all have businesses. So, if you even research psychology and marketing, you understand this. The average person is not that intellectually inclined. Writers are told to write at the 8th grade level. I think what are the literacy rates in this country? Like most people are reading at maybe like a 6th to 8th grade level. So if you're coming in this rap beef now with Pulitzer Prize winning writing scheme and stuff like that, not everyone is going to appreciate that. Even someone like me, while I do appreciate those things, I've been enjoying more of Drake's disses because it's more of a bop. So it's also like, what does your audience want from you? Are we wanting to really sit down and think hard? People don't have time to think hard. It's inflation.
We think too hard already. I feel like, Lord, I'm just trying to get through my day. Now I got to figure out what you're saying over top of a beat that might be a little too hot for me right now.
Listen,
but so far, guys, the comments are saying Kendrick is winning in the comments, which is very interesting to me because a lot of people are saying he's a little more intellectual with his battle words, and I think that is a very interesting thing. I do listen to more Kendrick than I do Drake, but I think it, like you said, it's a style thing more than anything.
Yeah, and then also put into factor our audience. What type of person is going to be watching Fly Nubian Money? If it's a money kind of channel, it's going to be a certain type of people who have an intellectual desire and aptitude to learn about money, finance, things of that nature. So it doesn't surprise me that this audience would prefer more of Kendrick's music because it's in an ecosystem that supports that.
Right. Marlo, I know you've got something to say.
I was just going to say, isn't this kind of, we have these conversations all the time. Oh, where is the heart in Black content? Where is the love in Black content? Where's the intellectual stimulation in Black content? And now we have to kind of admit that in this, because sometimes thinking is too hard, and because sometimes we don't want to delve into the deep, right? We just want to get our toes wet. We're not trying to swim and do the cardio and the actual physical activity of swimming, right? We just want to splash around a little bit, and is what we ask for when it comes to media and content in a stark contrast with what we show that we will support, because we do like to sprinkle a little ratchet on it, because we do love a bop too. I bop my head. I'm like, wait, what did just? Am I? Should I even like the song? Like, then I have some kind of weird internal conflict, right? So I just wonder if if what we say we want is actually what we want, or do we really just want a little ratchet and we just ashamed to say it because it's a little ratchet?
I think that's exactly what it is.
That I think you hit it right on the head, bro. I think you do, because some days I just want to be, you know. I mean, I'm a huge Prince fan. Okay, guys, he has the beautiful ballads, but he also has a lot of stuff that, you know, when we came up, you know, your parents be like, "What you listening to?" You know, that's the same thing. You know, there are some points where you want to be bad, and if that means that you want to be bad, then sometimes you put that music on to make you feel like that badass. You know what I mean? That is just what you want for that moment, because it goes with your emotions, I think, as well. If you're having that kind of day, you just closed a big deal, what you gonna listen to? A love ballad?
Not Kendrick.
Turn it up.
Right. You said not Kendrick?
No, I'm sorry. I mean, I like me some of his songs, but if I just had a big win, Kendrick Lamar is the last thing on my mind.
And who got the bottles popping? Who popping bottles?
And I think that goes back to outlet as well. Like, what outlet are we doing these things? Because if I want to go deeper, I'm not turning to music to do that. When I turn on my music, that's whenever I want to let loose. I want to be free. I don't want to do the thinking. Like, I want to get lost in the beat, get lost in the words, the songs. Like, I'm playing it while I'm cleaning or while I'm trying to relax, maybe having some wine at the end of the day, or if I'm laughing in the background. I don't usually turn on music to do my deep thinking.
Right.
Sometimes I do. Like, I will listen to a Hans Zimmer soundtrack while I am doing my morning walks or clean the house, and then in the next moment it will be Lil Boosie "Wipe Me Down." I'm ready to, like, when the moment calls for it. When the moment calls for it.
Yes. So let me revise my statement.
Okay.
The deep thinking, the music I turn on doesn't have any lyrics. So I might still turn on music, but it has no lyrics if I'm doing deep thinking stuff. It might just have some tones in the background, or it might have a repetitive phrase, but it's not like where I got to wait. What did he say? Wait, let me pause. Wait, what's he talking about? Let me see. Can I find a lyric video? Like, I don't turn on my music for that part.
Mm-hmm.
I know, but it is the soundtrack to our life. When you think about it, I mean, music is always around us wherever we go. It's not just what we play in our homes. You go grocery shopping, you got music. You get in your car, you got music. You go to the doctor's office, you got music. So it's always around us. It just gets a little more fun when people are beefing, is what I like to say. But I do not want I can't. My heart can't take another person losing their life over something that is not so important. I like to keep it at the words. I like to see what you got to say between your words. But this is not the only beef that's going on. Isn't Little Kim beefing with somebody as well too? Why isn't she getting so much of attention with her beef as Drake and Kendrick?
Because there's star power. Drake's, like, somebody said Drake is like the Thanos of like rap right now. I think it's just the star power. No shade to Lil Kim, but I don't remember the last song that she has come out with that is current. Okay.
Right.
I like Jump Off. That was the last, like, song I remember of hers. That was doing something. Or when, that one when she's like doing all of that. Everybody knows the Lil Kim, Lil Matrix, whatever this mood is. Her and Mary J. Blige have their signature moves. Okay.
I love it. I love it. Well, everybody, we are loving this conversation. We're loving you being here. We've had some new people enter the conversation. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You are here to the Fly Nubian Money channel. We will be talking about all sorts of things in our communities, deal with money, entertainment, life, what's going on. Today, we just happen to be caught up on the drama of Kendrick Lamar as well as Drake's beef. But you can also make sure that you subscribe to us because I know you're loving it. You know you want to come back and sip some more hot tea with some queens because we ain't none but your sisters sitting down having a good time over coffee and tea and enjoying some things that are going on in the world. And if you want our news, you make sure that you want to text us at Queens to 87948 and also make sure that you share this out. So ladies, what do you see as we wind this conversation down? I think this was fun to me. I've learned so much is not even funny. But I would like to know what you would like to see more of when it comes to this type of entertainment in the rap world. It doesn't necessarily have to be the rap world. We talked about other cultures having the beefs, other artists talking about other artists. What makes it so fascinating about us? Because to me, the world looks to our culture to copy anything that we do in their world. What would you like to see happen and the outcome of this particular beef for our communities?
So, in thinking about what Athena said earlier, and you mentioned the literacy rate, so I'm gonna come with the fact checking and the references, okay?
I love a good fact check.
So, 79% of U.S. adults are literate, and so 21% are illiterate. But of the adults, 54%, because we're saying they're literate, but they're literate at a 6th grade level. So we have to be mindful in that. So what I would love to see from this rap beef is just us being more mindful as a whole, as a collective, of what we're putting out there, because as intelligent as we are and as our viewers might be, there are a lot of people that aren't that intelligent, and they will take what they see on the media and from their favorite influencers and their favorite rappers and celebrities, and they will run with it. And we have seen in the past, what that does to people. Like, oh no, this person really shot somebody because of something somebody said on social media. So we have to be mindful of what we're putting out going forward. And so I would love to see this beef just end in a well-rounded way that was like, hey, yeah, we had this, but look, we didn't pull out no guns. We kept it civil in the studio. And now here we are dapping it up.
Right.
I think that's wishful thinking. I don't think they're going to be dapping it up. I don't think they're gonna be dapping it up. I think, what I did like though? I liked when because J. Cole had a little thing in there as well, and he recanted. He was like, I don't want to contribute to, it's not worth all of that. And there were attacks on his manhood and his, masculinity and his rap prowess for doing that. But I think it goes to show that with maturity, you can make proper decisions. I do think that between the two men, there's a lot of ego, there's a lot of pride, there's a lot of testosterone fueling this beef. And how I would like to see it play out is, first of all, I would like a tour. But that's what this would be being selfish. If they were smart businessmen, they would do a bat rap. Remember we used to have verses during COVID. Everyone was coming on stage and we decided who won or something like that. I would love to see it end. And I think that would be positive, because then not only would they make money, it would provide us with entertainment. It would create jobs through having to go on a tour and employ people to do production and things like that. So I think a tour actually would solve a lot of that.
Yeah, but you've been saying that from the beginning. You can't wait, can you? I love the thing.
It's a year of tours for me in general. Like, I'm going to the Missy Out of This World tour. Like, I just go, I did Renaissance.
That one's going to be fantastic. Marla, what would you like to see out of this?
I would like to see, selfishly, I would like to see hip hop get back to words and a more eclectic type of genre. I remember at the height, right? There were gangsters, there were polka dot guys, there were, flower children. There was just this array. You see so much people now saying, "Oh, Black people aren't a monolith." Well, we're not, but we have allowed the entertainment industry to kind of pin us in as one thing or the other, and not a whole lot of nuance there. So I wish that this just inspires all types of future rappers or entertainers or just Black people. Like, maybe people could be themselves, right? Kendrick, it's all right.
Right.
You've admitted
Right.
to a lot of wrongdoing, and some of that Drake used against you in this. And it's okay for you to be all of those things, right? You don't need to be one thing. Drake, it's okay if you got that BBL, you went and got that Brother Man tuck. That is fine with me. If it makes you feel better, embrace it, right? And I feel like I would love for us to just kind of open up the culture the way that it used to be back when there was space for Kwame, there was space for De La Soul, there was space for KRS-One, there was space for NWA, right? There was space for Jay-Z, there was space for Nas, there was space for Talib Kweli and Common, right? There was space for all these different types of guys and ladies in the industry, and hopefully we can get back to that and not be so hell-bent on everybody doing the exact same thing. Everybody using the same producer, everybody using the same type of beat.
Because sometimes it feels a little too canned, doesn't it?
Maybe all of their business being disseminated will make us okay with being ourselves a little bit.
Right. More diversity in the sounds, things like that. I love that. But we've got some really good comments about, what people would like to see out of this. And I think Ethel's comment about sometimes it's other people who decide to pick up the battle, right? And their tour might pour on more venom into people who just look for a reason to shoot someone. I think that's very interesting because the crowds can pick up on those things. And we have seen an increase in that quite a bit. I think that's a very good take. We've also seen someone say, ask Drake to dance. Is that a thing? Am I missing something? Can he not dance?
I think, can he? I don't know. My first concert, fun fact, my first concert was a Drake concert, by the way, the first concert I ever went to. He did not dance at that concert. So, but most rappers don't dance. Yeah, if anything, they do a little
they used to dance.
Two-step.
Little background dancers and stuff. Yeah.
Listen. That whole entertainment.
Everybody not hard. Somebody cracking jokes.
But who's probably happy with this beef? To be honest with you, who's probably happy with this beef?
Who?
Diddy. Because this beef this beef distracted. No, ain't nobody talking about no raid no more, no lawsuit, none of that. Where is he? Is he even on the island? Did he fly somewhere else? Nobody's talking about none of that since this beef has come on the air.
That's true. It's taking the heat off of him right now.
Maybe Diddy orchestrate. Maybe maybe he was like Drake, Kendrick. All right, I'm gonna give you 2 stacks. I'm gonna need you guys to pretend you don't like each other.
That's true. That's true. You haven't heard much about that. And then we had a comment about, ultimately people they may take a heavy loss for some, but both get to keep their lives. And I think that's a comment that is common between all of us here, as well as our viewers, is we don't want to see this to go in a way where we're mourning someone. Right? We really don't. I think we're all a little tired of that, and we also don't want to see another person lose their lives over something so silly, I think. But I find it interesting that even though this is very hot, everybody's paying attention to it, I've noticed other people trying to insert themselves to it. So what is it? DJ Vlad or somebody like that tried to come in and say something to tie it to this beef. To me, that's attention seeking. So what do you think about other people inserting themselves into this for the attention?
There will always be vultures. There will always be vultures looking to pick off the rest of the carcass, honey. And that, I think, he's kind of like a culture vulture, because didn't he build his whole media brand off of rappers and entertainers coming on his platform and just like exposing things. So of course it would make sense for him to comment or tweet something like that, because this is also so much about money. It brings money, it brings attention, it brings dollars to his page, his media brand. So
yeah,
I agree.
it's always been around. It's always going to be around, where people are riding on other people's coattails. Like, oh, this is hot, let me hop on that train. We see it in all areas, even outside of. Sorry if y'all can hear my husband mowing the grass.
Listen, we will never be upset of a good man
Doing a wonderful thing.
because trust me, be thankful. Some of us trying to find one to cut the grass.
Yes, absolutely. Now, baby.
All right, so Athena, would you date a rapper? Would you date a rapper?
I have dated a rapper before.
You have. All right. So you can get into it too.
I mean, no, it was short lived, because I was like, I'm not about that life. I am not about no groupie. No groupies. When I want to cuddle at night, what Netflix? You gotta work. You gotta do a show. It was short lived, but I appreciate it. He wrote a song for me. That was nice. He performed the song.
Oh yeah,
that was nice. But no,
he said
I'm not cut
no.
out in my life. I'm not cut out.
You said no. You said no.
I know my.
Mama, I got it. You laughing because it was something we said and you got so tickled.
No, because I was like, I'm not even trying. I'm very honest with myself. I am not trying to play myself. I'm not going to try to pretend like, oh, this setup is going to work for me. If it ain't going to work for me, if you're a rapper, you rich, you whatever it is, it's still going to be a no. It's
still gonna be a no.
It's still gonna be a no.
All right, ladies, this has been such a fun conversation, and I have had nothing but a blast talking to you queens. Ladies, I like people to know how they can get a hold of you. So tell us, Athena, let's start with you, where people can find you.
Hi, lovely people. If you can find me on the internet at We Wealth Women on all social media platforms, or go to my website, www.wewealthwomen.com.
Awesome. Marlo?
I am Marlo. You can find me on Instagram. I am Olram Marlo. That's my name backwards. So it is Marlo backwards and Marlo forwards. And thank you all for being here. This was a great conversation.
It really was. Lindsay?
You guys can find me across all social media platforms at Lindsay Vertner, but you probably like, girl, how we spell your last name? just go to my website, liveafirstclasslife.com, and any way you want to reach me, you can find it on there. liveafirstclasslife.com.
I love that domain. I love
it. I love it. I love every bit of that. And I am Laura Lala Key, and you can find me on all social media platforms under Realty Goddess. Thank you so much for joining us today. We have had such a ball, and you can catch us Monday through Fridays from 1 p.m. At Eastern Standard Time. And we hope that you stay empowered and inspired to take changes of your financial future. We thank you for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe and keep the comments going, because we love to keep the comments going with you. Join us again. Thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful day.